If you're in the pro wrestling podcasting space, whether you're a creator or you're a listener, the news that WWE has brought in, absorbed, purchased, the SiriusXM Busted Open radio show has probably come across your newsfeed. And if it hasn't, well, pay attention, because this is bigger than people realize. And I'm going to give credit where it's due, because while JD from New York is much bigger than my platform, I just want to say I love his work, and he is the reason that this really came to my attention in a bigger way than I initially had kind of read this. And I'm going to give my perspective on it, and I encourage you to go listen to him. And this isn't really a promotion for his show, but he does a great job breaking this down, and I want to talk about this very quickly. So Busted Open Radio was absorbed or purchased by WWE Radio. So WWE has brought in this show along with Sam Roberts' show and others. And I have to say, this is a bit concerning, because what this has done, it has taken an independent wrestling voice, the largest independent wrestling voice, and it's now under the banner and control of WWE. And the first thing you'll hear, some of the pushback you'll hear from critics of this, of people who are critical of this, people who are pro this move, is, well, it's expansion. It's WWE just expanding their reach. To who? Who exactly is this new listener reaching? Because if you are already engaged in listening to Sam Roberts or Busted Open Radio with Bully Ray and Mark Henry and Nick Nemeth, then you already watch the product. You're not going to be reaching anyone new. This is, in my opinion, WWE's attempt and their continued push to control the narrative. And you've already heard it from Dave LaGreca, who I really enjoy. I think obviously he's created a hell of an empire. Good for him. But you've already heard from him that this is not going to change. You're going to hear my rants. Yeah, okay, sure. But until we use a couple of brain cells to figure out that this is not how it's really going to work, and it's not going to all change at once. We know that it's not going to all change at once, where they're just going to start patting WWE on the back every single chance they get. But this is going to be something that expands over 6 to 12 months. What does this look like a year from now? And what you'll probably see, and what we've already seen from them, is a much softer, censored, sanitized criticism of WWE. What's going to happen now, and you can bet your ass this is what's going to happen, is that WWE Radio and the executives and management who are running it are going to want a bulleted list of the topics that they're going to talk about, maybe some of the items they're going to be critical about. The reason that they're probably going to ask for this, and if they don't, then why would you absorb this network anyway? Why would you purchase this network? Why would you bring them in? They're going to want a list of it, and they're going to have to pre-approve what's going on the air. They're going to tell us outwardly, no, nothing's going to change. Everything's going to remain the same. The criticisms are going to stay the same. Well, if that's the case, then what did you need to bring them in for? You could have just let them be. They were successful as they are. What is the advantage of your WWE to bringing them in? You're not expanding your network. You're not expanding your audience reach, because those people are already in the system. So the only conclusion is that they want state-run radio. They want to control dissenting voices. Dissenting voices like myself, like JD. Again, we're not on the same level. I totally understand. He's much bigger than I am, but I really admire what he does. But voices like myself who use our platforms to call out WWE for their bullshit. We have no one to answer to except ourselves. Whereas now Busted Open has a lot of people they have to answer to. You think they're going to bite the hand that feeds them? You think that they're going to now start to criticize things that they might deem a little questionable if management were to get involved, or if they were to look at it and see the critiques that they're putting on the air for millions of people, that they would be happy with that? No. Again, if you're WWE, the only incentive, the only goal you have is to control the narrative, to control dissenting voices, to silence them. So they bring in the biggest names and they put them under their banner of WWE Radio. Again, you are now going to slowly, not all at once, get a sanitized, softer version with pre-approved rants. The rants will still be there, and Dave LaGreca is right, they will be, but you don't think he's going to have to run them by the people that now own his ass? Of course they are. Otherwise, there's nothing here for WWE to gain. They are deathly afraid of independent podcasts. Not myself primarily. I mean, I'm not exactly huge at the moment, but those that are much larger, they are deathly afraid of those podcasts soiling the general view of the product when things go poorly. For all the garbage you hear from Nick Khan that we don't pay attention to negativity, kind of weird that you now try to buy up these podcasts and then rebrand them under WWE Radio to make sure that they are only saying things that you approve of. And I know it's not going to be controlled to the micromanaging level, and I'm sure Dave LaGreca would have a lot to say against this. But if you have, again, a couple of brain cells to rub together, if you're not expanding your network, the only reason to now put them under your banner is to control the narrative, to soften the product. And I hope everybody sees that. That is what's happening. That's what's happening. So let me know what you guys think about this purchase. It's huge news. This should be bigger even than it already is, because it is a window into what their goals are. What are TKO's goals and concerns? This is one of them. Those that they can't control, they're trying to buy up and trying to use them to now rebrand them under their own banner so that they don't hear things that make their tummies hurt. All right. Let me know what you guys think about this. More on this to come, and we'll talk soon.